From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Anti-armament advocates say Canadian firms should not be supplying the U.S. Department of Immigration and Customs Enforcement with armored military vehicles. They describe ICE as having a sketchy record of human rights abuses. Kelsey Gallagher with Project Plowshares says Ottawa should deny any proposed arms transfer if there's a risk of human rights abuse.
If any Canadian military supplier was seeking to export 20 armored vehicles to nearly any other security service in the world, with the same documented pattern of abuse, targeting individuals outside of due process due to their perceived or actual ethnicity, the Canadian government would almost certainly step in and deny those transfers.
U.S. government procurement documents show ICE recently placed a rush order of 20 armored vehicles with Brampton, Ontario-based Rochelle. The federal government is pledging another $235 million in funding for Ukraine. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand announced the contribution to the NATO Alliance Fund for Ukraine in Brussels today.
Canada is committing $35 million in security support through the NATO Comprehensive Assistance Package Fund. This brings Canada's contribution to the cap to a total of $180 million.
The funds will help NATO provide Ukraine with things like medical supplies and winter gear. Europe says Canada has to pay 10 million euros to join an EU defence deal. An EU spokesperson says Canada's fee is based on the economic benefits and jobs it can expect to gain. But the price tag raises questions about how much investment the pact will generate. The UK's fee is more than 5 times the size of Canada's. A group of Ontario chiefs says the federal government should immediately reintroduce clean drinking water legislation. The Prime Minister pledged yesterday it would be introduced in the spring. It had been planned for this fall. The chiefs say delaying it is not acceptable. The BC Conservative Party says it has removed John Rustad as leader of the provincial opposition. The party says its board of directors has decided Rustad is, quote, professionally incapacitated. 20 caucus members today said they lost confidence in Rustad and wanted him gone, but he refused to resign. Air Transat pilots have voted overwhelmingly to strike as early as December 10th if their union can't reach a new contract with the airline.
The Airline Pilots Association says contract talks between Air Transat pilots and the airline began in January, and the two sides left conciliation in November. A 21-day cooling-off period ends on December 10th, when the roughly 700 pilots can strike or management can impose a lockout. Both sides say they are committed to reaching a deal at the bargaining table, with the union urging management to negotiate seriously to avoid operational and flight disruptions. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, 2 Canadian NHL teams look to move into a playoff position tonight. The Montreal Canadiens host the Winnipeg Jets. The Vancouver Golden Knights continue their PWHL expansion season when they visit the league-leading Boston Fleet tonight. Over in the CFL, the BC Lions have signed star wide receiver Keon Hatcher Sr. to a contract extension through the 2027 season. Tickets to next summer's FIFA World Cup games in Vancouver and Toronto continue to be a hot commodity, despite eye-popping resale prices. Canadian press reporter Gemma Karsten-Smith says FIFA's vice president has heard the price complaints.
He's just saying that when you're in a market, the market is what dictates the ticket prices. He's pointing out that 85% of the money that FIFA takes in from the tournament will go back to the member federations to help grow and support soccer.
Tickets for the games have sold out almost as quickly as they've been released, even though the teams playing won't be announced until after Friday's final draw. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.